but there's a reason we didn't do the show for so long.
No, there's not. There's really not a reason that we didn't do the show for so long.
Well, I mean, I was out of town that one time.
I mean, that's the reason.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening today, though. I'm still trying to figure out what you've managed to break once again.
This is my third setup, and none of them are working.
I would like to make an excuse for DJ.
Thanks, man.
He spent most of the morning in the washroom. I don't know what's happened, but I don't know if I wanted. You said not to tell everybody that. I'm sorry.
I mean, I didn't. I just didn't think you would. You explain while I plug stuff in. By the way, did I tell you about this?
About what?
This thing. Look at this. Sorry.
You showed it. You kind of swung it around, but I was trying in the process of yelling at you to focus on what you were doing first.
Yeah. Look at the 15 FPS. Does it catch your attention? How's the motion blur, brah?
Just in case you guys were wondering, we're the only podcast that has motion blur.
This is what it looks like when it's off. Well, low. Let's be fair. It's low. And mine is what happens when you're playing on a CRT. No. Well, it wouldn't be a CRT because CRTs basically have unlimited frame rates. This is worse. What's worse? I'm like a 17-inch TN panel on a laptop from what's a company I don't care about working for ever again. HP. Yeah. Origin computers wouldn't have those problems. Anyway, this guy right here has an M.2 in it.
That's the PC you're using right now?
yeah, this is the whole PC that I'm using right now.
I feel like that's all you're using right now.
I'm playing on worse than a potato. It's a potato seed. I'm plugging in hard drives so that we can look at stupid.
It's been a rough morning, chat. In case you guys haven't been aware, we started a little bit late. I do apologize. But we're kind of pulling it together here. DJ's gonna fix everything. You almost had DjGoHam on his phone. We were about to go live, and then he got a phone call
from a scammer.
And that ended that portion of the podcast. So,
but we learned something new. And it turns out I didn't need half as much of this Dr. Pepper as I thought I was going to be.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It turns out I needed 3 sips and then for none of my computers to work.
Well, you know what? On the bright side, today we're going to get to talk about all the reasons why you should buy or not buy Farming Simulator 25, including maybe the fact that it might not work on your PC, like what's going on with DJ right now.
What I shouldn't have done was unplug the Origin PC and went to the other one. What I should have done was just left that one on.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't have messed with that. And then the Windows update, that was probably a bad idea as well.
I don't think that did anything because everything was working, but StreamYard wasn't working on that computer. That was the problem. And also, it wouldn't let me change my microphone. And when I plugged the camera into the cam link that it thought it was on, it was like, I still don't care.
I still don't care. You know what? You haven't even made comment about my shirt yet, by the way.
Because I want it, and I'm jealous of it, so I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
Okay. I mean, you could have commented something about it, but fine. I understand. It's okay. You can be a little bit jealous. You could go buy another PC and soak your misery in your purchases, I guess.
Yeah. Never buying AMD ever again. I said that 2 years ago, and I stand by it more now than ever.
Oh, you know what? I got one more thing to show you. You got the shirt, right?
Okay.
Oh, that hurt, eh? That hurt.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this to see if like I do that enough. Oh, it's worse now. Great. That didn't help at all.
You fixed it.
I did whatever the opposite of fixed it was. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
It is worse. It is worse, right?
I don't know. I think you look perfectly fine. Once again, you don't need more than 8 frames per second. We're fine. Chat, just so you guys, if any of you guys are wondering why I'm giving him a hard time right now, DJ is all about high quality, high fidelity, high frame rates, high resolution constantly.
All the way up.
Everything is got to be on max settings at 120 frames per second minimum.
Can't wait to shoot 4K at 120 in cinematic mode in ProRes.
We come to do this show when really, I mean, we don't necessarily need to have for those that are on the podcast that are listening, just listening to the podcast, you understand that you don't even see any of this stuff. But DJ's sitting here worrying about some frames that might be missing, but I don't think it's that bad.
It's only every other frame that's missing.
Exactly. Skin Farms, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you. Welcome in, man.
I mean, to be fair, I've got this computer this camera's a 30 frame 4K being downscaled to 1080 60 for some reason. Maybe that's why it's causing trouble.
Might be you're downscaling. You sound more and more like Minecraft characters the more we go into this.
So
you know what? I'll give you a chance to fix that. We can talk quickly about something I wanted to talk about a little bit because I've been getting more questions on this recently. G-Portal game servers, you guys. For those that are new to Farm Sim 25, I know a lot of you that are watching us live right now are obviously been in the community for a while, but maybe you haven't been, or you're looking at getting back into it and you want to know how to set up a server and what good a server will do. Of course, it's going to let you play with your friends live anywhere, anytime. And just thought we'd go through setting up a G-Portal server together quickly right now. And I think it's a great time while GoHam figures out what's wrong with his PC. We could do that together.
I don't know. I was gonna try and plug in my vlog camera to the USB.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well.
No. It could work. I don't have an extra the USB. Yeah. There's none in here.
Well, you can try and create one.
Okay.
While we're doing this. So let's make a game server. You guys know that G-Portal is a proud sponsor of the Farm Sim show and has been for 2 years now?
Of the show, 2 years, yeah. And I've been working with them for 5 or 6.
Yeah, it's been a while. They've been a huge supporter of the channels, both of our channels, as well as the show here. So if you guys are looking for, first of all, if you're looking for a server, go down in the links down in the description. Click the link and you're going to get 10% off a server. And you know what? They're relatively inexpensive in the grand scheme of things anyways. So if you can even save a couple bucks.
Servers are super cheap and you get money off.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when Dave was going over this first, I was like, hang on, wait a minute. Really?
Yeah, you're going to get 10% off them, which is hilarious because you're going to see exactly what I'm going to buy right now. This is the Satisfactory, the G-Portal website itself. I'm going to click on Rent a Server, and it's going to take me over to the Rent a Server page.
Minecraft.
I'm going to figure out which game.
Oh, Minecraft. Do Minecraft.
We're not doing Minecraft. We're doing Farm Sim. Get out of here.
Set a Corsa. Do it.
Look at all the games you can get servers for.
Do Farm Sim 13.
You can get a server for Farm Sim 13 using our code as well. I'm going to go to Farm Sim 22, of course. Of course, you got Xbox, you have PlayStation, and you have PC as well. Just note that, you can all play together if you set up once the server is set up. Just so you know. As long as you're using mods that are compatible with those platforms.
Yep.
Right? I'm going to build a PC one because that's what I'm on. But it's the same process. Now,
do they have ones for potatoes? Because I am on said potato.
You know, all the servers, it works for everything, DJ. It works for everything. Just select PC, even on your potato PC right now, it'll play. As long as you can play Farm Sim, you can play on a server.
I don't think it can't play my webcam right now.
See, this is where you would need to go, right? Right here it says choose a server location. Make sure you choose the one that's best for you. For me right now, Dallas is showing up as the best ping. I would have thought Los Angeles, but I guess Dallas could work for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll select that. Also, if you want to add mods to your server, you're going to need the 25 gigs of mod space extra. It's a couple bucks usually, so we'll add that onto my server. I think I have to click that off the top of my head. Let's add it in. Here we go.
Always do the extra 25 gig. Oh yeah.
Right, the cloud, the number of slots, and I find people get kind of confused on this when I get some questions on this at times. The slots, I think of it as player count. Now, there's kind of an interesting thing to go with the slot. So if I just went down to the bottom and did a 4 slot, that's the minimum, of course. You're guaranteed you're going to get 4 people that can play at the same time. Now, that's only going to be for one server. If I went up to 8, for example, with this one here, I could have 2 different games that both had 4 slots at the same time set up with this. It will give me an option to have 2 on the same rental in the rental contract, essentially. It's kind of confusing. Once you rent it that way, you'll figure it out. Usually, you're not going to have more than one game, but if you do, by all means, select more slots. And if you just have like 4 people, then you just get a cheaper price, right? Down to $16 down to $9, which is great. And also, then there's the 25 gigs of mod space. There's extra $2.60 for that, like next to nothing. And then you select your duration. 3 days is the minimum. If you go down to if you just wanted to play for a weekend, it's down to $4, you guys, and you can get 10% off of that as well. By the way, most people are at least 30 days. Like I said, I rove on a 365 day because it gives you the most discount, the biggest discount.
Oh, that's a good idea. I run mine at 30 days. Yeah. I have servers. I've said, did you know that? Did you know that? If you're on my Discord, you can get at the servers. They exist. Did you know that? Yeah.
He's got servers apparently. Last thing is, of course, once again, you select the location that we talked about previously. Dallas showed up as being the best one for me. And that should be everything. I'm going to order my server. Let's see what happens here. I haven't done this in a little bit because we haven't needed to add any. I've got a $52 credit right now. So that $3 is going to go towards that. Otherwise, you got PayPal, you got your credit cards, you've got PaySafe, WeChat Pay. If you want to use any of those, you can use all of them. Whatever you want to do. Let's see what happens here. It's been a little bit since I've actually made a server. Server activated. Perfect. Yeah. Boom. Boom. Go. Loading server. There we go.
Yep.
Server is created right now. So it's in the process of, if we launch this, all your codes for this are right below here. I'm kind of showing these because the server's not going to last long. You guys could steal the server on me if you really wanted to right now. But regardless of which, there's all your information. You'll need some of this stuff. There's instructions on how to use this information if you really wanted to. You don't necessarily need this stuff unless you're going on some other, like a program like FileZilla to add your mods in. A lot of times, I know most people don't even use this information, but it's an extra way if you want to go a little more advanced. Let's see if we can get the server actually up and running on this one here.
So many people are trying to help me with the worst advice just ever.
Yost wants to join the server, he says. Yost, you can get on there right now. Just go for it. There we go. Server should be up and running. Let's see. There we go. Last thing. So it launched with running the Elm Creek map. So once you get to this page here, the server is up and running. I can go into our web interface and it should give us all the information. You guys could probably go play on the server for the weekend if you really wanted to. There's the information. So this page up on the top here. Oh, it didn't show it. Didn't change. Let me change this up because it didn't change on our screen.
Did I update my BIOS? Have I ever? Other than the first day I bought the computer.
Which one do I need to add to this one? Share screen. Boom.
I just want to point out we're 26 minutes in.
Haven't done anything yet.
But this is like all of your live streams.
It is. There we go. So for those wondering, right at the top, our server name, Deddy Server is the name of the server right now. We could put this to the Farm Sim show. And that's what's going to show up when you go into multiplayer and look for multiplayer games. That's the name that's going to show up. If you want a password, admin passwords, all that stuff's all the way through here. Your game save. If you load up a mod map, you'll be able to change it right through here, or any of the base game maps can be loaded through that, of course, as well. And then down at the bottom, you can start activating mods and installing mods directly onto your server down through here. Once you're all set and ready to go, quickly hit start. And server is officially up and running. Within about 2 or 3 minutes, you should see it up on the multiplayer games list. That's all there is to it, guys. What's up?
Cassie accidentally gifted a membership to themselves.
Well,
it's fantastic.
That's awesome. How did you manage that? How on earth did you manage that?
Oh, what a day, man. What a day.
Anyways.
All right.
Thanks for listening to that. If you guys want any more questions on G Portal Game Service, come ask DJ or myself. Thanks to G Portal once again for sponsoring the show. Appreciate you guys.
They are the bestest of the bestest. We would not keep sharing their goodies if they were not the bestest of the bestest.
Yeah.
Now let's take a left turn real quick.
Left turn.
Yep.
I only turned. Oh no, you only turn left on NASCAR. That's right.
Right.
Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you're turning right only on NASCAR,
You're not doing NASCAR.
you're not doing. I'm gonna take a left turn. Just think of Cartman with that cream driving on the NASCAR. I watched that the other day. Let's move on. How about that? If you're curious, I'm having technical issues today, and it's mostly just issues, and technical just happens to be one of them. Let's talk about 25. This has been a very, very busy month. Why am I over here? Why is this? Camera's over here. You're over here. I'm looking over there. How's this side of my face look? Is this good? This is my favorite side.
It's gonna be one of those streams.
Just a casual open mouth cough in front of friends.
I think you were going to talk a little bit about why people should or should not pick up Farm Sim 25. I got a question for you as well, right off the bat here.
Already don't like it.
Yeah, let's talk about pre-order.
Yeah,
I think that's a bit of a contentious question nowadays, is it not?
I mean, so
is there any games you pre-order right now? In the last year, what have you pre-ordered? Is there anything?
I mean, all right. Well, I only play a handful of games anyway, right?
I know. Yeah, I know. Right, but is there anything that you watched the countdown timer for, knew was coming out, and pre-ordered it before release date?
I will preface all of my following statements by saying I'm usually a fanboy of whatever it is I'm interested in.
Yep. That's fine.
Yeah, so I pre-ordered Forza Motorsport. That's probably the one game where I've been like, I would have bought it, but I didn't want to give them the money up front.
Fair enough. But you did pre-order it, you said.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking of games. I went back because I think we both played, like, Cyberpunk was one that was very popular not too long ago.
Oh, I pre-ordered that on the Xbox and on PC. I bought a 3090 just so I could play Cyberpunk at 4K or I said 4K 144. Turned out it was not that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of got screwed on Cyberpunk. That sucked.
Yeah, it was a kind of a failed one. I think, like, I remember No Man's Sky when it came out. It was kind of a rough pre-order as well, and now the game is much better now, mind you. But I think it's such an interesting, contentious question nowadays, and I know a lot of people are adamantly against pre-ordering any time of game right now.
So I have an interesting position on this. Yeah. I hold an interesting conversational piece, if you will, on this exact topic. So every game that I've ever pre-ordered, I have not played early, with one exception. Farm Sim 25. I have played it for I would say an hour and a half to 2 hours. Farmer Cops probably 5 to 7, maybe somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I dug it. I thought it was cool. I really enjoyed it. I had fun doing it. It looked like when you're playing in the game, obviously it doesn't, work as well when you're just looking at it on a video. But I really enjoyed playing it. It looked really good. It felt good. It may not have, I know people were like, looks like the vehicles don't weigh anything. Well, they were super heavy to me when I was playing. So I don't know what y'all were watching. I mean, you're watching me. I drive super fast. What you expect?
Fair enough.
Ooh,
I mean, and you didn't even have any of the Go Fast mods on.
Dude, I was trying so hard. I was trying so hard to just drive fast. I wanted to go fast. If you want to see somebody drive around like they've got some common sense, watch Farmer Cop.
Well, sorry, speaking to my good ear. Common sense? Come on. Pop up your in here. Exactly. So this is, and I totally agree with you. You definitely have the inside track. You've had a chance to play it more pretty much anybody else that's not working officially with Giants, or it works for Giants, I should say.
By the way, by the time we were able to post videos, which was only a day or two, well, granted, there was no embargo. They said we could post whatever we wanted. By the time we could already start posting videos, that build was out of date, and they had already updated the next build. So
really?
the things that people were complaining about, I remember just getting and even like Marcel from QA was commenting in my videos, just like not roasting people, but kind of like picking them up and then putting them in their place.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
This comment you've just put here, let's talk and put it over there because it's no longer needed. Yeah. To be fair, like I totally get what you're saying. You've had a chance, to be fair, to dive into Farm Sim 25. I think the comment that I would make, and this kind of goes a little bit with sports games as well, like your Maddens, your NHLs, your basketballs, whatever. You kind of have a pretty good feeling year over year what you're going to be going into the next year, or the next iteration.
Yeah. 1, 2, I put it this way because there's a lot of people that are like this. Like I said, I'm a big fanboy. I'm super positive about the game.
Yeah.
People say that I'm a giant shill. A little bit. To be fair,
well,
call it what it is.
I don't know how many hours you have on your accounts, but I mean, I think between Farm Sim 19 and 22 now, I'm at like something like 7,000-8,000 hours of gameplay time.
Yeah.
Like,
see, so I would have pre-ordered it anyway, even not as a YouTuber. I love Farming Simulator. I'm obsessed with it. I want to play it. I'm gonna play it.
And that's the point I am making is
that's okay.
Chances are, if you're listening to this podcast and you're hanging out with us here, you're probably a fan. If you have the ability, if you have something that will play Farm Sim, you're probably going to be getting it. So pre-ordering it is really, there's no foul in that, in my sense. Like, what Farm Sim 25 is going to be essentially. There's going to be a couple of new features, but it's in large and a whole, it's going to be the same as Farm Sim 22 in a lot of ways.
I felt like I was playing a completely different game.
Interesting. I don't get that feeling when I watch the videos on it.
So it's interesting. I don't either. But when I was playing it, and I don't know too, it could have been like the whole like, oh my god, I'm playing the Farm Sim 25 right now. Oh my god. It probably had a lot to do with it. But it did. It felt like a completely different game. Like it physically felt different. To me, it looked a lot different in the game. I don't know. It's just I had all these new senses coming at me at once. And that could be why as well. Plus, I drove around the whole map for longer than I was allowed to, but I did it anyway. Oops. had to cut that video a little short. But yeah, no, I mean, I think it's okay. Like, if you're gonna pre-order it because you love Farming Simulator and that's why you pre-ordered it, go for it. That's cool. There ain't nothing wrong with that. And hey, if you're not pre-ordering because you don't want to get stuck with a game that you're probably going to buy at Christmas anyway, but you want to see everybody's videos on it first, that's okay too. Whatever you decide to do is totally cool. Don't feel bad about it. All
right. So here's a question for you then. I've seen a lot of comments on this as well, and there's definitely a case to be made for the following statement. The launch of Farm Sim 19, Farm Sim 22, they might not have been the best launch for either of them in some sense. There was definitely some issues that happened, right?
Can you see my 10 FPS head shaking?
Yeah. Is that a concern for you going forward? Like, would that be a reason for you not to pre-order?
So for me, as a YouTuber who does this, no. But because I'm going to deal with it anyway.
Of course.
And what am I going to do? Not make a video on how many problems they're having? No, of course not. Of course I'm going to talk about that.
Okay, you're not a YouTuber. Take your YouTube hat off. No, that doesn't work. I've never done this on camera before. It's so freeing. Oh man, look at that hair. You almost have as much as me. Actually, mine's kind of thinning up there.
That's definitely not something you want to. No, that's not a Michael Scott joke right there. Let's move.
Yeah.
I am Michael Scott. I can do it. Like putting it in that context is super interesting. So let me tell you what I would do. I think I would probably hold off. Remembering because there's been so much good happening. So many, like, there's a ton of mods. There's now as many mods for Farming Simulator. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this information. Let's just say there's a lot of mods in comparison to some previous games when added together.
I guess, okay, so that would bring my concern is, okay, you might miss out on getting the Macdon pack along with the game, right?
Yeah, but if I can buy it,
of course. Right.
But if I could buy it separately, I would, man, I tell you what, I would rather, like, if it's like $5 or $10, even if it's $10, which I think that's really high for what it is. Hopefully it's not that high. $4.99, cool with it. I would probably avoid the pre-order. Now that if I'm like, I remember how bad it was at the beginning. I remember how, certain things were working and this and that. Not everything was rosy and shiny at the beginning, was it? And so
I mean, I remember more of the issues. Like Farm Sim 19 was, I felt there was more issues with that personally.
Yeah.
Just the fact they didn't have the landscaping tool put in place properly, and they waited for the first update to happen before all that happened.
Well, let me tell it to you this way, because I am truly unbiased with this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Forza Motorsport that dropped back in spring.
Yeah.
Right. I was pumped, man. Forza Motorsport was my favorite. I loved it. I loved it more than Horizon, up until FM7 and Horizon 5. When Horizon 5, I was all in on Horizon 5. I absolutely loved it. That was my game to have fun. But when Motorsport was announced, I was like, oh man, I gotta guess the first game in like 3 or 4 years. I have to get it. I'm so excited. And I got it. I pre-ordered Forza Motorsport and I played it the day it came out. And I wanted to throw something. It didn't play good. It didn't look good. Things were not playing right. I was so irritated. And I was so irritated that I told myself that if they have the next Forza Motorsport game, I will not be pre-ordering it. And I will be watching reviews. And I will be watching Game Ranks do Before You Buys, which we didn't get the idea from. But if you think we did, hit me up, because I met you one time.
All right, fanboy.
Yeah. What up, TikTok?
Next question: are you a bigger fanboy for Farm Sim or Game Ranks? Oh boy, yeah, fair enough. Like I have some worries. Is there anything else that you think?
I don't have any big worries, not right now, at least. As somebody who played, I mean, I wouldn't be happy with this version of the game on release, but that's not what it is. This is a 2-month. Well, at the time, it was like 3 weeks old. And now the version that we the new version that came out while we were playing is now almost 3 weeks old. Yeah. And there's probably another one. So they're constantly fixing. There's a reason also we're not getting mods. The QA is not just sitting around. QA is actively working on the game to make sure that it's ready to go for launch. Now, will they be returning back to Farm Sim 22 mods whenever that part of their job is done? Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't they?
Well, I mean, we only have roughly 4 months left of Farm Sim 22 mods.
Yeah, till the end of the year, and then they won't be.
The end of the year. That's the end of mods for Farm Sim 22. So, then it's all Farm Sim 25 from that point forward, which is kind of the reason you're going to want to be moving on to the Farm Sim 25 direction. If you're a Farm Sim fanatic, like most of us, I would argue are to some degree. If you want to get into that direction, you're really going to be wanting to push by Christmas time towards that, just to stay up to date. But is there anything that you've seen? Is there anything? Is there anything you've seen so far that it's like a bit of a red flag for you? Like in your playthroughs, is like anything we've seen your videos. GoHam's got he might have a couple of videos out on Farm Sim 25.
Hey, go watch the map tour, please. I worked really hard on that. That was a 45-minute video that we had to cut down, and we were given a time frame. And to be fair, oh yeah, this was something that we were supposed to talk about 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, or last week, whatever it was. Giants didn't ask us not to post that video because I accidentally released my 45-minute version while I was on the phone with Kermit, who had told me 10 minutes previously not to release it. And I said, not a problem. Everything's cool. We're good to go. And then we talked for 20 minutes and I realized before it was too late. This was an agreement with us because you want to know what?
They didn't tell me I could do it. All right. So what I did was I recorded and they didn't know. Right? Right? See, that's what happened was. And then when they found out, they're like, yeah, we don't need to see, but like, if you could just like do us a favor and not make it 45 minutes, that'd be so cool. Yeah.
That voice felt the best for that. But yeah.
To be fair, what you did was exactly what one of my kids would do.
Right.
It'd be like, hey, Dad, or Dad Clutch. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission.
I mean, I'd already recorded a few videos and, I was just playing. I was like, hey, can I do a little map tour?
Just a little map tour 45 minutes later.
Well, and I said it would probably be about between 5 and 10 minutes. And he was like, yeah, it's fine. I was not given permission to do what I did. Also, by the way, it was 45 minutes because Oh, those were the days. Jeez.
Thanks, Yos. I just
Uh,
got him off topic. That was perfect.
It's the editor of Farm Sim News there, or farmsimnews.com right there. Awesome. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I didn't know where I was. So I had my phone up with the PDA, but I lost where I was immediately.
You couldn't bring the map up?
No, you couldn't. So I drove around aimlessly for like 25 minutes.
Oh geez.
And then so stupid. And then behind me, a farmer cop comes up. He's like, "Hey, what you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know where I am, but I'm doing a map tour right now." He's like, "Oh, I'll find where you are." And he found where I was. And he gave me directions for the last 20 minutes of that video. So I had a clip mic. I didn't include the our audio because we have people coming by the booth and stuff. It was there so I could give myself notes when I was editing.
Yep.
And but it was just so funny. He's like, "Okay, turn left here. Nope, left. You missed it." And then so there were times where I'd just be driving, and then I would like cut through the woods. So those were the stuff that Giants wanted us to cut out. To be fair, they never saw any of the footage I took. They just took my word for what it was. And I'm not gonna lie to them. I was like, yeah, I drove around aimlessly for 25 minutes, and then Farmer Cop helped me a little bit. And then I drove in the water. But yeah, they were cool. They did not suppress anything. They just said, yeah, if you could just not make that 45 minutes, it'd be great. Like they said, your other videos are what, 11, 13 minutes long? Just do it like that.
45 minutes later.
Yeah. So it took I felt so bad for Farmer Cop. He spent like 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere around there. He spent a long time doing like perfect voiceover and editing for a 45-minute video, and they had to scrap it. But again, Giants never asked to see the content beforehand. They never asked what we had, just took our word for it. Yeah. So what they did was super duper cool.
Oh, okay.
They let us release
You didn't
video.
answer my question though. Was there anything that really scared you, or anything that was
Kermit's
you
face.
think the community's not going to be happy with?
Kermit's face when he found out what I did. Okay. Yeah.
You're not going to answer my question. I got it.
No. I wanted to make a joke. Come on, man. I'm hyper now.
I see that. Hyper. You're in 15 frames per second. You're hyper.
It's a good thing that I'm not in 60 FPS. Give me a week, I will be in 4K 120. Yeah. Talk about pre-orders.
Wait. So you'll pre-order PC components?
No, it's not a PC component. Remember when I got a phone call earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully on the next one it doesn't kick me out of a live stream. I don't know. We'll find out next Friday when it comes in.
Okay.
All right. So anything that worried me or scared me? No. Probably because I knew that if there's anything that there's an issue, you're going to leave the jokes to chat. You're only making it worse. I'll do my best. All right, go for it. Bam. I'm good right now, especially with the build that I played. I mean, it was a very controlled build.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I enjoyed it. It was really cool to be able to play. It was really cool to be able to see like this much early. Goodness gracious, we're seeing a lot of stuff early.
Yeah. Now, between the stuff that you've played, obviously, the comments that you've gotten, like I'm trying to play devil's advocate. Of course, I know most of us are pretty excited for this, so I'm definitely going down on the negative side of things. What are you seeing from the comments and from what you've seen personally? What are people most concerned about of what we're going through next? What is the biggest complaint maybe you've seen so far?
I mean, other than the one that that's the most obvious. Most is just Farm Sim 17 with mods.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that one as well, and the limited amount of content I put out on Farm Sim 25 for sure.
And I believe I'm on the record saying, if you think this is any other farming simulator game modded, you're an absolute idiot.
Do you think that Farm Sim 25 is a bigger jump than Farm Sim 22 was to 19?
After playing it, I think this is even the demo. I think this is the biggest jump that we've seen from one game to another. At least in the games that I played, I started playing in 15.
What about 17 to 19 felt like a massive jump in my mind.
It was a huge jump. My favorite thing then still was the graphics change. And it really was. And now I look back, I'm like, ugh. And we're gonna look back at this in 10 years ago. Hey, remember when we thought that Farm Sim 25 looked so good? We're such idiots.
It is a funny thought process because I look back at Farm Sim 17 and like there was parts of Farm Sim 17 that felt so perfect in a lot of ways, and I think there's a lot of people that feel Farm Sim 17 was like the perfect farming simulator in some ways.
Yeah.
And then when it went to 19, there was parts that were kind of not necessarily like fully finished, it felt like, but there was so many new aspects to like building your farm, of course, and and we have horses now, and I can't remember what else. We had cotton. Yeah. There was a lot of big changes that came that year, but the change between games was the graphics, of course, was the biggest thing, of course, as well. It went from like kind of a little less cartoony almost to more realistic in some senses. Very interesting. DJ can't call me on 360. There you go.
This is the best. I tell you, Jayhawk's one of the best. It's just getting you. Yeah. 17 was awesome. It's super nostalgic as well, right? Yeah. This one's some of the best maps that ever. Yeah, there's a fly in here, by the way. So welcome to my world today. Did you see me while you were talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it landed in my eye because as soon as there it is. Today's a day.
What? All right. So I got more questions for you still.
All right. 17 was super nostalgic.
Yeah.
I don't think people were ready for 19.
I agree.
I think Farming Simulator 17 probably could have stayed around another year. Yeah. And we would have been okay.
I mean, like, just given the fact that there was no proper build mode at the start of the launch of Farm Sim 19.
Yeah.
And I remember the comments when that first came out, people were super upset about how broken that feature was. And then like within a month, like right before Christmas, they put out a patch and we had that whole build mode and everyone was like, oh my God, I can't believe how good this is now.
Yeah.
Right. It's we can build our farms finally and how we want, right?
Man, we had so many people watching that Friday night live stream between me and you doing the farm build. And I did a farm build and you built a
truck,
a horse
course.
Yeah, it was like a horse obstacle course that looked like a roller coaster.
Well, I mean, wanted to see what could you build back then? We had to push the limits. Like, what could we possibly do with this, right? It's like, I'm gonna see how pretty my farm can be. Well, this is back when you were actually kind of sensible.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, I want to see how pretty I can make this. And meanwhile, I'm the guy that's like, well, what can I do with these massive hills and ground I can deform now? Like, how did that happen?
And then here we are. Even though, to be fair, I mean, my the Let's Play that I'm doing right now, old stream.
Yeah.
Like, it may not be the most realistic thing in the world, but I don't think I've done anything other than like high capacities that's insane. I mean, going fast, but that's just kind of what I do at this point. Yeah. So, I don't know.
All right. Moving along then. So let's talk about, like, we got new features, of course, coming from Farm Sim 25.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest things, I think new crops might be arguably one of the bigger, like, so it's always like a big thing that everyone wants to talk about, right?
Yeah, but like it on the outside, to me, the new crops don't seem exciting. But we'll have to wait and see. Spinach could be pretty good, but we can't store it, I think, is what they said. And
it's going to be sold off right away, right?
Yeah. I mean, somebody will change that, I'm sure. Matana! I see you in here.
She's in here. I saw her in here.
And then we have green beans, which we don't know anything about yet.
Yep.
But we should know something soon.
Peppers, same thing with peppers, right?
So yeah,
peppers.
I'm getting to them, and then we have peas. So
I'm actually big. I'm pretty excited about peas for some reason. But this is my one concern. I'm going to go off on a bit of a tangent. Spinach might be in the same boat as this.
Oh yeah, and rice. Forgot about that already.
Well, we're not going to get to rice. We're going to get to rice in a second. But like spinach and peas, you can plant on your regular crops, of course, or your regular fields. But it feels like cotton again, where you're going to have to like specialize so heavily in the equipment just to do that one type of crop that it's going to be kind of forgotten about.
Yeah, it does seem that anytime we get something that's specialized like this, we get one harvester for it. And then like maybe later on they add, a new harvester or something. So it would be really cool. I think that the premium DLC, they did that good, because if you didn't want to use the big stuff, you could use the little stuff. Even though the little stuff sucked, you could still use it if you wanted to.
It was difficult, but it was a progression though, right? That was the key. Is like you could start small and build up, which everyone wants to do in farm sim. That's
Give me 3 options. If you give me 4, even better. But give me 3 options.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I'm just looking at that. I'm excited for peas. My brother-in-law has a fairly large pea farm in Eastern Ontario, and I'm like,
right, can we just talk about how funny it is to hear people say that?
pea farm?
I can't remember who I was talking to, but I'd done the video, and there were a couple real heavy-handed lines in the video about peas, not the pea video. But it's funny. Come on, it's funny, right?
Well, we can at least move on from the jokes about manure now, right? And move on to something that's more tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah. But it's funny. It's super funny. And come on, just be a kid. Let it out. Moving on.
Then we have the rice, of course, as well. Rice is the same way, though. I'm like, especially, the long grain rice or the dry rice.
Yeah, long grain rice is going to be fine.
But the wet rice with the specialized, like you got the specialized fields, I'm curious to see how that all.
Yeah. And there's a really big, there's a big lip on the outside of those fields too. Like it's not that you're digging into the ground so much, is that it's the field is still level with the area outside of it. It's building these mounds on the outside of all the way around.
Yeah.
And you really got to be careful about how fast you hit those things. In my video, I showed it off. Like you can get some air if you're not careful, or if you're very precise.
Yeah, and I don't know anyone that will manage to. Considering there's like a motorbike in base game now, no one's ever going to jump those.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually put that in my video or not. The not the motorbike, the jumping the rice fields. I think I did, but I have to go back. Also, yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anything about the dirt bike.
It's been in the trailer, and that is it so far, right?
It'd be really cool if we got I don't assume Giants are going to do a video on it, but it'd be really cool if they did, or like a blog. Like, just give us, or even like a single fact sheet. Tell us more. People want to know more about it.
The wet rice, you have the flooded fields for, right? That you have to build, basically. The normal rice is just like a regular crop we plant, is my understanding.
Regular crop that you plant. It is in regular seeders and direct drills.
Yep.
And you harvest it with a regular combine harvester.
Yep.
However, all the rice fields that were on the map for the demo were still the place down fields.
Oh, weird.
So yeah. Also, I just got another idea, in my head just now, because you can plant any crop underwater. Like that's been confirmed by Farmer Cop, I believe.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
I didn't know this.
What if? Oh man. You know how you have to plow up fields to do fields? What if you could just have this one big flat squared off area and you just put down a rice paddy and then you never have to plow because the field's there. I
see a hack video coming in your future.
The 1.5 wheels I've got are still turning.
I'm curious. Maybe. It feels like something that should be fixed. I don't know. Just saying. Are you reading Omatana's?
I'm reading Omatana. Here, let's put it on screen for everyone.
I was reading the same thing.
Omatana says, sorry.
Oh boy.
With the long grain rice, you set it right side of the cornfield and then flood the darn field, get it! And then later you dry the field and harvest with a combine. That's not my impression on Omatana. I just wanted to do it because I'm having a real rough day. Urgh! Thank you, Omatana.
Did you remember to turn it off this time?
I think so.
Okay, good.
Just trying to make everybody else smile while I scream inside. And on the
there you go. That's the answer for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've talked about crops. Greenhouse, there's greenhouses once again. Greenhouses were first introduced in 22, of course, and we only had the 3 options to begin with.
Greenhouses coming back. We have our own little farm shop now, which is super cool. And the other new crops. The other ones. Mushrooms.
Yep.
Spring onion.
Yep. I always forget spring onion. I always forget that one.
Was like green onion or spring onion. I did way too much research on like what kind of onions or what. Like my Facebook feed was like, I guess he likes onions now. And I do, but like not that much. Come on. Watch, now I'm gonna get more. Stop listening to me. This is why you're being replaced. What a day, man. You can tell it's Friday. Yeah. Oh, and the red one, the chilies.
Chilies or peppers. Yeah, chilies it looks like, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I want to admit up, there's a lot of like stuff here where we can make like some chicken fried rice. You noticing that?
I am really, I mean, this is something, of course, Giants. I think the biggest feature in Farm Sim 22 that like was the biggest announcement was, of course, production chains.
Mm-hmm.
I would argue, right? Maybe, I mean, seasonal cycles was in there, but it didn't seem like it got pushed as much.
Seasonal cycles were there, but nobody wanted it the way it was done.
Is it different this time, DJ?
No,
do you think?
I don't think so.
No, you think it's the same?
All I know is they've said that usually it's in August when the tornado comes through.
Yeah.
And if you play, sorry, I had a burberooski there.
Yeah, I saw that. Nice.
Thanks, guys. Normally I would mute during that. If you set your time into like August all the time, there's a chance that it could just tornado every single day.
I hate when that happens.
There's a chance. Not saying it will, and there's definitely not a chance it'll happen every year if you're doing cycles. If you're like me, I don't know if you think I'm playing with seasonal cycles turned on when I do my stuff. I mean, there's a lot of information up here at the top corner that's just missing from my videos for some reason. Because
like the frames in your video right now are missing. That's the same idea. Got it.
It's only every other frame. God,
there's a lot that we're missing right there.
Anyway, but yeah, so I don't know. I hope it's better. Okay. I miss the nostalgia of seasons, but Realismus don't plan on coming back from what I understand. So, or at least changing up seasons. It would have to. It'd take a lot to change it.
Maybe. Anyways,
plus, I mean,
it was a massive feature for Farm Sim 22. It's obviously in Farm Sim 25 to some. It might be the same. It might be updated. Who knows? We don't know the exact extent. Then obviously.
So this is interesting, and I haven't really thought about this until you just mentioned it. So the person that made Seasons, Realismus. So I don't know if you guys know this, but they worked at Giants before Farm Sim 22 was released, and I think they were working there after release. Maybe I have to hit them up and find out exactly, but. Like, so they made Seasons in 17 that won the mod,
right?
The Seasons mod that won the mod contest, which came to consoles then. Seasons probably would have never come to consoles if it wasn't for that. And then, they got it out for 19 as well, changed it up a little bit. I didn't like it as much. But again, nostalgia glasses, they were wide open. And then they were also part of the implementation in Farming Simulator 22, but they didn't have full control because, of course, Giants wanted it this and that. Plus, they had other stuff to do as well. They had other stuff to do. I mean, it was like Sid when he worked at Giant Software. You remember that? For like the month that he was there, he was also engaged, and I don't think his fiance liked him being gone. He had to like move to a different country and then come home every weekend. Can you imagine moving to a different country and having to come home on the weekends? That sounds insane on this side of the pond. Anyway, but yeah, like, he's a really good modder, got a really good job, got a job modeling at Giant Software, but like he had to do other stuff and just, make what he wanted. He had to make what they wanted. Anyway, so this is going to be the first time, my point, this is the first time that he's not been part of that.
Yeah, the whole season's experience is going to pretty much be whatever Giants wants to be without the original creator behind it.
Yeah.
I hope they've listened to the community, because I know the community has some thoughts on where Seasons and what it should do. I think a lot of us would be happy if they just brought the features that were in 19 and 17 and brought them back in. A lot of that stuff. And it seems like a lot of it's there. I'm curious to see more about it for sure. Now, I don't know. Like I'm still on the fence on whether that was the big thing for Farm Sim 22 or production chains.
I think it was production chains. They
pushed that a lot harder, right?
Well, they pushed it a lot harder. Plus, Seasons wasn't as involved, or the Seasons part itself, it was part of the base game. It wasn't special anymore. And plus it was nothing like what we were used to. So I think it turned a lot of people off, I think, including myself, by the way. I was one of those people, still am, but I deal with it my own way with Grow Now. Like that seems about the right time of year. All right, we're harvesting in December. Let's go. The cold? Nah, it's not cold.
I'm just saying that I find this funny now in 25 so far. We're less than 2 months away, and we haven't heard really anything about the productions for the most part.
So that tells me one thing. It may not have changed a whole lot. I think
you're probably right, but I mean, you look at the productions that came with the DLCs, like the premium and platinum DLCs. There was pretty incredible productions, especially with the premium. The premium, the first one, platinum's the first one, premium's the second one, right?
Yeah.
Like with the forestry DLC, those productions, like there was a lot of cool stuff that was there that I'm like, okay, this kind of makes like it made logging worthwhile doing for sure.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see with all these. You're not wrong with what you were saying this earlier. All these new crops that we have, and some of them are major crops, and other ones are just like minor, whatever you grow in a greenhouse, an extra little thing. What do they have planned for those in the production side of things? Because there's probably going to be stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of people too that don't enjoy the productions as much. Hey, you don't have to use them. It's totally cool, and I support that. Yeah. I like making flour and bread. That's kind of what I do. So,
got bread.
It's Flour Simulator, man. Let's go.
I don't mind some of that. Yeah, you're not wrong, and it's actually a pretty good way if you're playing it as a game to make money and try to maximize the min-maxing side of it. Yeah, it's a great way to do that. As if you're doing the realistic farming simulator side, the production chains sometimes don't really fit into that. Yeah. I find, but that's whatever. Play how you want to play.
But in multiplayer, if you owned all the production chains and everybody else was farmers, you could have them deliver stuff and then you could manage all that. Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of downtime if you're playing the game that way, but hey, get one of the
build a trucking company, right? You could be the one trucking it all around in multiplayer. I've seen that done several times.
Yeah, you've heard of rolling coal. You just make another one called rolling it over.
That was actually that made there's the mod that came out. It was like the invoicing mod, right?
Yeah.
And you'd see guys to be like, okay, I'm taking 50,000 liters of your wheat. Let's do the math on that. Oh, here's your invoice for 50,000 liters of wheat.
Yeah.
Right. And that would all work out then. And using a G Portal server, it's super fun to do that style of gaming. Right.
It's very cool. It's very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked new crops. We've talked some of the new updates.
Yeah.
This is a big one. This is going to be a big one. And really nobody else other than you and Farmer Cop can really answer this question right now.
I'm listening.
So Giants have lent, I guess, or I don't know if it's sold their engine to another game recently, right?
Yeah. How cool is this?
So we're going to be going into the engine's going to be used for a racing game in the relatively near future.
Yeah, which I believe is coming out next year.
Yeah, and what's the name of it again? Do we have a name of the game itself, or just the company that's making it? I can't remember anymore. I saw it on there.
Straight Force Studios. Oh god, I'm awful. Hang on. I got a folder in here called Racing Game. Oh, it's just voiceover. Crap.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant at this point in time.
Is it Project Motor Racing? Is that what it's called?
Something. Yeah, it's something along that. I think it was. I can't remember. I know it's on their press release sheets.
Yeah.
So they've got this new team that's not part of Giants. It's a whole separate company, but they're using the engine to build a racing game.
Yeah.
Now I think everyone in here would be on the agreed side that the physics in driving are there, but they're not great in a lot of ways.
That's a lot more than I would say. Currently, with Farm Sim 22.
Has there been any updates to that in Farm Sim 25 that you've noticed so far? And do you think that team that's behind that has done any to help Giants at all to update any of the physics as far as driving goes at this point?
It does seem like they're going to be sharing information back and forth. I think the time that we will see the biggest impact of that partnership will be the 20th anniversary of Farming Simulator 2028.
Okay.
Not saying it's been confirmed, but there was a certain person that told me they'd be an idiot if they didn't do it. So, so we just
28 confirmed. Got it.
Kinda, I guess. I'm pretty sure that's old news at this point as well.
I think we talked about this last time.
We did, yeah. But yeah, so I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of on that. I still think this is going to be one of those farming simulators where, everything's just been improved, looks better, drives better, the pieces of equipment feel more real. So you say, Richard's on here says separate teams and game physics. They are, however, they are sharing information. So
I am super curious to learn if any updates have been made to the physics side of the vehicles. Is that I think there's a lot of vehicles that just don't behave realistically or properly in a lot of ways.
Yeah, anything that's a tractor is like
a lot of it does. Like there's some, you can make the argument that it's always, you should be going at a reasonable speed in most of the equipment in Farm Sim. So it doesn't matter that it doesn't drift or slide correctly or whatever it might be. But let's be honest, everybody does Mach 6 at some point in time in game.
There was a
comment. To have the feeling to feel properly. And
there was a comment on one of my videos. Somebody had made the comment and said, the tractor bounces around super unrealistically. And then below that, I said, I'm a farmer. Have you ever driven across a field at 32 miles an hour? Go ahead. I just had to put that in there. I was like, oh,
not wrong. Yeah. Yeah. That's just it. Right. And I think, the physics upgrade. I mean, we have deformable terrain, which is
neat. It's
lot. It's a lot of visual, but at the same time, there is some physics to it as well, right?
There's some physics to it. Yeah. I will say it's still okay. The version that we played, because it's already changed. Yeah. And I was told it had changed right after I finished recording. But what we played, it seemed like it was a bit of a gimmick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Almost. Now it works exactly the way they said it would. If you're going at one speed versus another speed, going left direction, right direction, straight, it's all different, right?
Okay.
So it interacts the way you would expect it to. Different wheels also make different compactions. Wide tires don't compact it as much as
that's great.
Narrows and regular. So it works exactly the way you expect. But it was almost just comical in a way, I think, because it's just not something you're used to with Farming Simulator.
Yep.
You're used to it with Mud Runner and stuff like that. And I don't know why, but I expected it to be like that. And it wasn't. It's so much more tame than that. But as I said, Giants have already changed the way that it works, the way that it interacts. So it can only be better. They wouldn't have made that change otherwise. But, it did feel a little gimmicky with the version that I played. Still worked. Still kind of cool. It slows you down a whole lot.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And that sounds like it's a little bit like the various mods for PC for Farm Sim 22 then, in that sense.
Yeah.
Right? They force you to drive realistically in a way.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can really do about it if you're using those mods. The one thing I was really hoping for, I love the fact that they've started listening and putting that style of gameplay in. But I was just even thinking the simple way of if I'm always cutting a corner to go down this one road and it's like a grass field, I wanted that grass to start just turning into dirt, right? If I'm always driving that one way, realistically, if you're always driving away into a field, there should be a path that gets generated out of that. That's what I was always hoping for. I'd be like,
you can apparently. I can't remember. I think we talked about this in the last podcast. You should be able to paint roads down now.
Yeah, because you had a whole description about the fact that it's not placed on top of, and it's
still super excited. And I was so excited that I forgot to look at it when I was playing the game.
Lovely.
The one thing that I said I'm the most excited about,
completely forgot about it.
I was
so you didn't get a chance to try the build mode at all?
You couldn't. No, I was locked down. They had so there were some people that have done demos know some tricks to get around certain things.
Of course.
The gaming stations, there's a really easy way to get around a couple things. However, we had laptops, not gaming stations, and I don't know those tricks on the laptops. Also,
controls wasn't on the in there, eh? That's too bad.
No, man, I think I broke the F11 button trying to get it to work. Sorry, F12 button.
How do I add money into this? I need to cheat some money in.
But you couldn't buy anything. They had locked it down. Somebody was talking about fog and everything. So fog was an interesting thing because as the day progressed, it just went away, and there were some days where there was just no fog.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it worked really well. It wasn't just beautiful sunny every single day. It felt like the it felt like everything was moving and progressing. It felt like a living world. It was kind of cool that way.
I watched. Obviously, you guys were messing with the tornado. You had a chance to check the tornado out and watch it destroy some of your crops and try and drive vehicles through it and mess around with it. Of course, it doesn't affect vehicles. It only affects hay bales and your crops.
Yeah,
that we know of so far. At least, is there anything else it affects? I don't think that's the only two things so far that we know of, right?
So you got the field. Some people are looking at it, and I've seen a couple YouTubers that have been saying like, oh, it looks like in the middle of the tornado it's more, and on that side it's less. Confirmed by Giants, it's the same for the entire circumference. If there's a cloud area circling, it's just a circle, and there's a visual thing on it, and the whole thing moves together. That's really it. Doesn't demolish everything. The tornado, you say the tornado slow. The tornado is slow. Speed up time goes fast. It's based off of the in-game time.
Okay.
So just speed it up. You're good to go. You don't want it on there.
Yeah, when it spawns, it's got like a pre-directed path that goes across the map, basically, right?
Yep. It looked like it was different every time, at least from the way it was set up in the demo.
Okay.
But we were also playing a demo that was set up for the tornado. Specifically, that was a completely different demo that we played.
Okay.
The trees, they change. Obviously, we talked about that. However, it looks like all the models are the exact same. So it goes
the damaged trees are the same?
Yeah. And so like let's say there's like two different trees right here, and a tornado's coming, and tree number 1 changes into the stick, and then tornado's coming, and tree number 2, and it just turns into the same stick. Two different trees, same stick.
Same stick. Well, to be fair, necessarily, if you're playing realistically, you probably shouldn't be anywhere close to see the trees turn into sticks.
Yeah, I was right beside them.
That's a good question. What Chris is asking here. So you're saying if you set time to 0, it'll stay in place. Obviously, you couldn't set time to 0 in the demo you were playing.
No, we could go from 0 to 360. Which, by the way, I didn't know that Farm Sim 22 could go to 360 or times 300, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because it was Farm Sim 17 and 19 go to 120, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I've used modded Farm Sim for so long, and I've had
2000.
Yeah, and so like I just forgot. Also, Chris S went live last night. Showed off the new Colossus update. I was getting ready to go to bed. I was like, no way. I looked at the notification. I was so pumped, dude. But yeah, no, tornado is kind of cool. Also does bales if you have bales out. The issue was we couldn't get to the bales fast enough and then get to the Kermit. There was some stuff he didn't let us do. But
I mean, it's possible that wasn't perfected yet as well, right?
Yeah, but we've been told that that the bales will demolish, but we don't know if it's going to take them and throw them. It's not going to. It's probably going to take the leaderage down, I would assume.
Yeah,
I don't think there's
my guess as well.
But make sure they're covered.
So there was no like fallen trees on the ground or anything like that. No cleanup from a tornado or anything like that we have to think about.
No. The only way you could cut the dead trees down was with a chainsaw, though.
Yeah. Okay. You couldn't use one of the harvesters. Interesting. And now there's also talk that hail as well can damage crops, right?
So we've heard of it. We haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's what I went through your video. I'm like, I never saw that. I was hoping you may have seen something behind the scenes that you could talk about. Nothing so far, though.
So we never got it to hail in the game. All it would do was the tornado. It was just kind of nice weather with a tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kermit's been keeping a lot of secrets from me. But the thing is, the more secrets he keeps from me, the more I could talk.
Sometimes you're better off not knowing, right? Because if he tells it to you, then it's like, by the way, you can't say this, but
yeah,
we have pickup trucks now in game, DJ. And then you're gonna sit there on your hands for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he knows, like, my question. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that's so cool, I'm so excited. I'm just gonna go, which ones? Is it a Dodge? Is it a Ford? Nobody wants that. Is it a GMC? Let's go. Meanwhile, I don't even care. I own a GMC because, like, my dad's friend worked at the GMC place, so that's why I have a GMC. I also have a Mazda Miata. I'm not a good judge of car character.
I am super curious about this comment here. Like, what will the modding community be able to do with this? With some of the weather?
This is some cool stuff. I mean, it's base game, right?
Yeah, it's base game, but
you can change base game stuff.
I'm just wondering to what extent. Like, will they be able to change this? Like, obviously they'll be able to make them more intense if they wanted to, more frequent. I'm sure, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But will they be able to take that idea and put it into something else? Or like, I'm very curious on what the options are for that. There was a comment as well, like, can they destroy buildings? And there's no one saying that it can destroy buildings in any way.
So for some reason, I keep hearing conversation in this, but I never hear a yes or a no.
Okay.
Like at one point, somebody was talking about maybe like the buildings that you're building, you know, like the houses and the areas around the map that you're building back up that we've seen. Oh, the one. I don't know if there's multiple. I just assume. And yes, that is me assuming, not me trying to cover my tail for Kermit telling me something. I found one and I assume there's more. What was I even talking about?
The tornadoes destroying buildings.
Yeah. So like somebody was talking about it, like that happening.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing the conversation and like nobody said anything like
nobody
yes
shut
or
them
no.
down on it, eh? No one came out and just said, no, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Be interesting.
So
it was like fence lines, that kind of thing. Like you'd think that'd be kind of an interesting way.
Yeah.
That the tornado goes through this path and you put down a fence line. Why not? That'd be great. I think that'd be like you actually have something to repair then. I have no problem with that if that were the thing. I have a funny feeling I'm not going to be correct in that. It's not going to be a thing, but why not, right?
Yeah, ModHub will still be in game. ModHub's not changing.
Yeah.
Hopefully the website search gets better. Yo, you want to hear something cool?
Always.
So farmsomenews.com. You can also go to lizard-farming.com. Well, that takes you to my YouTube channel. Don't do that. I bought another lizard farming website the other day too. I sent it to Yost. He's like, why did you do this? I was like, it was available. I don't know. I got bored. So some storm damage on shit.
What was it? What was the website? It was lotlizard.com. Is that what you said?
Lizard-farming.com.
Oh, okay,
like
I got that wrong.
the little like
different.
Yeah,
totally different website.
Yeah, don't go to that one. But I think I bought lizardfarming.com. I think that's the one that I bought the other day. If DJ needs a caretaker, I need an assistant.
Yost, that is you, my friend. You are his caretaker.
Unfortunately, yeah. It's all you, bud. Good job. You're failing right now, I guess. I don't know. Just failing? I feel like he's doing a bad job.
Feels like it. Feels like it.
Anyway, I hope that you can destroy bells. That'd be pretty sweet. Would be neat if a modder made it to like I said, you know, things work in different ways. Like we see a tornado, but really it's just a circle marker on the field that just happens to have a tornado coming out of it, and whatever that circle touches, it knows to delete 50% of any crop and tree in that circle. Like that's what that means.
Well, I would assume that like they'll be able to make it more intense and destroy more crop or less crop or whatever you want, right? I think modders will be able to have the ability to do that. I'm just curious what else that's down that same vein of idea of like a random event happening. Can they create something else that happens that will?
Oh, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah. So I mean, we've thought of hail and tornadoes as base game, but what else can possibly happen now that that's been kind of opened up? That's the ability's there. What are you thinking?
Well, I just got like a gray still play idea. It's not a good one.
Oh, but okay.
So, all right, so you know how you can replace any of the sounds in the game?
Yep.
Or you can delete all the plane sounds, which I'm definitely done. So the sound with the tornado is like, it's not as loud as you would expect it to be. But like, what if it was like,
I'm a tornado.
Oh, someone please record that from DJ and put it in, and modders put it in afterwards. That'd be great.
That'd be kind of funny, right? It's pretty funny.
I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah, somebody clip that. Actually, put that into a short this week on your channel.
Please do it.
If you do it, share it with us. It'll be hilarious. But my biggest takeaway is super excited about Farming Simulator 25. More excited than I was before I went to Seattle, which
good.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to have a chance to check it all out soon, but I mean, it looks from all your videos and Farmer Cop's videos, I'm definitely excited to check it out. That's for sure. My ears, I know. I'm sorry. Cassie, I'm so sorry. I try. I wish he should give me access to the button so I can only control it for him. Of course. Thanks, GoHam.
It's funny. I don't monitor my audio, but I have a little mixer down here just to turn the headphone volume up.
So that I can tell when I'm talking like this.
Because of that one time.
And where you talk for like 5 minutes like that, and everyone's, why is he still talking like that?
I don't know. I had no idea.
All right. Is there anything else that we want to talk about on reasons why people should or should not either pre-buy or just buy? Like, what are any other caveats you think going forward?
I think if you're on the fence, I'm not sure that one statement from me needs to or should sway your opinion. I think you need to continue to watch videos, continue to do research, continue to see what us and other content creators say so that you can, devise your own opinion of what you think it'll be before the release. Now, we're probably going to be playing it a few days early. We've been doing that with every DLC in game forever. So, if you can even wait, like you can pre-order the game up until the minute it releases, which I believe is midnight German time, Tuesday, November 12th, which is like 6 p.m. Eastern time that Monday. So like you could pre-order until that specific moment. So you're going to have like 2.5 days worth of coverage of YouTubers and Twitch streamers and TikTokers or whatever playing the game. So you've still got plenty of time. If you don't want to pre-order yet, you don't have enough money to pre-order yet, maybe you want to, or you're on the fence. You're going to see a lot of people that get to play the game early. Just wait. That's all you got to do. Just hang out. The game's not going anywhere. We'll be fine. Plus, if you pre-order it and the world ends, well, you lost $60.
I don't know what to say to that on that last term. You just lost all your money. I'm sorry about that.
Sucks to suck. I don't know. World's getting ended. That's your fault.
I get the voice now. I get why you're, a constant jerk in the K-Bot. I mean, why K-Bot's a constant jerk. By the way, we should definitely, the thing that we need to send pictures for, we definitely got to do K-Bot and DJ Bot for this. Oh, I have an announcement. I forgot. I was going to do this last week, but now you guys only have 1 week instead of 2. Clutch, let me ask you a question.
Oh, boy.
If I could interest you in getting to, I think, play 25 or maybe one of the DLC stuff, at least for 22. I'm not sure.
Are you talking English? Like, have you formulated sentences before?
I haven't thought about what I was going to say before. All right. Here you go. Three things.
Okay.
DjGoHam playing some version of Farming Simulator on a gaming station, and a rodeo all at once.
Can we put you on a bowl?
No, because I asked and they said no. So
did you ask the right person, and did you try hard enough? Because I want you to have the K-Bot voice filter on while you're riding a bull.
Put me down. Ow.
That's
anyway. I am going to be in, where is it? Greensboro, North Carolina next Saturday. Well, we'll be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But like Sunday, I'm there with my dad because I'm taking him. This is the dumbest show ever. So if you're going to be in Greensboro, North Carolina, or around that area next weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, there's the PBR bull riding event there. Farming Simulator is doing some stuff with PBR and some content creators going to some events. So I don't know how many people are in the area or close to there, but I just wanted to let you know that I will be there. So if you wanted to meet me, that's a great place to do it, because that's the next place I'm going to be till, I don't know, next year.
So Giants will be there as well with Farmson 25?
Giants will not be there.
Okay.
I will be there.
And you're not going to have Farmson 25 with you?
I don't think so, no. They won't send it to me. I keep asking. I really do. They're like, no. Why do you think I went to Seattle? I had to.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be there. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry, DJ.
Are you gonna go to a PBR thing for Farm Sim?
Probably not.
Or are we not talking about that yet?
I don't know.
Water Buffalo Rodeo confirmed in 25. No, they're just they're doing promotional stuff. So Fly's giving payback. Yeah. So anyway, so if you're in the Greensboro, North Carolina area, I believe what else is around there? I think like Winston-Salem somewhere down the road, and maybe Raleigh's not too far away. So yeah, Tokyo Game Show's in 2 weeks. That's pretty cool. That'll be interesting.
You're not going to that, eh? You're not going to go over that?
No. What am I doing in 2 weeks? I feel like I'm doing something in 2 weeks. I'm not doing anything in 2 weeks. Next week I'll be at
going to the Tokyo Game Show, though, correct?
They are. I
Yeah.
don't know if they've said officially if they're gonna have the Asian map, but I mean, they're going to the Tokyo Game Show, which I don't think they've ever been before.
If there was ever a reason to have an Asian style map and to show it off, I think there'd be Tokyo Game Show. So if you're over in that side of the world,
or
there you go.
Vegas, at least I think it's Vegas, or is it San Diego? Where's TwitchCon this year? So you might know.
That was Vegas, but I could be wrong.
I know it was Vegas last year. Anyway, Giants will also have Farm Sim 25 there. So if you're going to be going to TwitchCon in the United States next weekend as well, ooh, that's a tough one. What do you do? Do you go to Vegas to play Farm Sim 25, or do you come to Greensboro, North Carolina? You can fly into there. There's Piedmont Triad International, PTI, is the airport right there, and I've flown out of there quite a few times for event.
Or Vegas.
So what do you do?
Oh, it's San Diego. It says San Diego. We're wrong. It's not Vegas. So San Diego.
Yeah, but like it does bring it down a little bit. Well, sorry, this was quick down. I mean, it does. Vegas is like here, and San Diego is like, oh, it kind of pushes Greensboro, North Carolina up a little bit, doesn't it?
So,
I like how nobody in here was like, yeah, I'll be there. Like, I'm definitely not going now.
No one's interested at all. Just walk away.
Thanks, guys. Yeah,
need that the Homer disappearing into the shrub meme.
Not for my own doing.
No,
now I'm going to... Schultz says now I'm going to neither. Hey, oi. What's up? There you go.
Yeah, I think we've covered most of the bases at least, but motocross choices.
Oh man,
so many choices, AJ. So many choices.
That Ron Burgundy reference, man, that was good. That was a deep cut. Woo.
What are you doing this weekend? What do you got going on other than because you're not available next weekend? You said, right?
I'm going. Unfortunately, yeah. Well, okay. So I'm going to the rodeo. I need to find out what time it is because I don't actually know. I have like a person for that event, which is great. Because they asked me, they're like, do you want somebody from PBR to walk around with you? It does, doesn't it? They asked, do you want somebody from PBR to kind of walk around with you and tell you about stuff? And I was like, yes. Because in my head, I'm like, babysitter. Yes, I need that. Do I have to pay for it? No? Then yes. And Giants give me one of those at FarmCon every year, and thank goodness. I don't think they told last year. It was oh goodness, somebody. But this past year, awful. This past year, they didn't like give me a babysitter, but there was somebody from Giants like everywhere. I know it was a Giants event. I know it's a Giants event, but like I knew them. I know I was like, yeah, I just saw you over there.
Why is this tracker back on my shirt again? Why did you guys put this back on me?
Man, I brought way more air tags than I thought I did.
You got an air tag in your pocket every time you turn around.
I had to spell. I didn't even think I brought my keys. How's this keep falling off my keys? So anyway, yeah. So if you want to come and meet me, I don't know if we're doing a signing thing or what, but hey, if you come and hang out, rock and roll. I still don't know if I'm going to Llama or not. A certain police officer, YouTuber, I'm not going to tell you who it is. They do Farming Simulator, but you wouldn't know him. tiny little channel. That was the most uncomfortable part of that whole thing. I didn't mean that. I'm so sorry. It's like 150,000. He bought a separate or spare hotel room just so I wouldn't have an excuse. So we'll see. It's a long way. It's a long way. Especially if Giants isn't going. That's kind of a long way. Anyway. Yeah, tiny. Yeah. So anyway, well, glad to see. But yeah, come and hang out with me in Greensboro next week. That'll be a lot of fun.
Are you streaming it all next weekend?
So I filled out stuff for press, but looked like we had to have like somebody like express permissions to do live and stuff like that. Okay. So I think this is gonna be one of those where I take Senor Vloggy Poo with me.
Yeah.
And then we'll just watch the video like the weekend after.
So there'll be no live streams most likely from there next weekend then.
Yeah, not likely. So if you're gonna be there, come and meet me, come hang out. Super cool. Would love to meet you, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be doing streams.
All right. So we'll be 2 weeks. We'll be back with the Farm Sim Show. We'll see if we can find out more information between now and then. I'm assuming we'll have some more fact sheets and new information. Who knows? Maybe new features be announced by then. I don't know. I don't like how on the nose that was. That hurts.
Yeah. Granted, Kermit said he would rather be hanging out with me than not hanging out with me.
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah. Trying not to get him in trouble with the true statement that he said. Thanks for hanging out.
Well, appreciate you guys. Once again, good to see you guys all back in here. I know it's been a bit, but we'll be back again. And give us 2 weeks. We'll be back since and then we're into the home stretch. What would be like? Well, almost like a month before Farm Sim 2025. That's crazy.
And the 12th, it's what was it? 2 months from yesterday.
Yeah. 2 months from yesterday, and then so the next Farm Sim Show will be a month and a half, essentially. Yep. Like we should have almost the last couple features announced. We'll see. Time will tell.
It's gonna be fun, man. This is
it's the home stretch, right?
Yeah, I mean it's September already. Yo, you want to hear a story real quick? Sit down.
Sure.
All right, so you know, I went to Seattle 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
So from Charlotte, North Carolina to Seattle is 5 hours, like right on the money. It's like 5 hours. I was delayed 6.5 hours.
That's right. You were texting me when you were on the plane that middle, like, and you were supposed to be already there like 5 hours before that.
Oh gosh, how late was it when I was texting you?
I don't remember. It was late
because they were serving beverages.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours before we took off. 4.5 hours after we should have taken off. Anyway,
because I believe I was sitting on the couch watching some TV or watching some sports or something like that, and I might have had a brown beverage in my hand.
Right.
And you were like supposed to have left earlier that afternoon, and you were still sitting on the tarmac.
Was I mad or was I perfectly happy?
You seemed like you were. I mean, you were conscious.
Does not answer the question. Anyway, so the plane was delayed 2 hours because it was coming in from Florida. And as we all know, planes that fly anywhere from Florida are delayed when they get to that next airport. Fact. It's fact. Look it up. It's fact.
Okay. Did you say so, man?
Yeah. Except when I'm on the plane coming from Florida, then it's on time for some reason. So we were 2 hours late getting on the plane. Then we got on the plane. They found out that the coffee maker wasn't working. So they started serving water because it was hot. Hang on. And then because it was so hot and everybody was drinking water on the plane, this is like 3 hours after we should have taken off, they ran out of water. So we couldn't take off until they restocked the water because you can't just get in the air for 5 hours and not have water.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to restock the water, and it turned out that the pilot couldn't fly the plane anymore, nor the co-pilot, because after being grounded for 3 hours or delayed for 3 hours, they have to get a new pilot for, I guess, like how much time they're allowed to work, right?
Yeah.
Because they were on the clock. But I definitely heard the wait or the stewardess and stewards heard them talking. They got paid for 45 minutes of work of the 6.5 hours, and guess what? They didn't get off the plane. They still had to work.
Yeah, that seems like
Poor
such a weird deal
thing.
the way they have that set up. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that sucked. They were so mad, but they were like happy mad. So they were taking care of everybody really well, and then went and complained. So I was sitting in the front, so I was just listening to them complain. Anyway, so after 4.5 hours, after they got a new co-pilot, which were great, by the way, they got on about like, we heard that this plane was about 3.5-4 hours late getting out to Seattle. Let you guys know the flight, the 6:30. If you'd gotten on that, you would already be in the air right now. Yeah, the flight that left 2.5 or 4.5 hours after I was supposed to got there before us.
Ouch.
Anyway, I'm not saying what airline because I have a lot of points with them, and I want to keep those. Man.
Anyways, yeah, it was an interesting texting conversation. I should go back and read through it again. That was fun.
Yeah, I'm not done yet. So
All right.
So after, so it's 4.5 hours, we finally got the water, we got the new pilots, and we got it was not Spirit. Now it was a good airline, it's a very reputable airline. And we got the coffee maker fixed, which turned out when they put it in Florida, they like pinched like the water tube.
Mm-hmm.
And so if all they had to do was boom, boom, and then it fixed itself. It took about an hour on that one thing alone. And so 4.5 hours, we started back, and the lounge did have what good Wi-Fi is for sure. So we started backing out, and we heard the pilot saying that they were going to be taking off on a certain runway, but because it was later in the day and the winds had changed, he wanted to take off on a different runway. But that runway, they were waiting because there was a cargo plane coming in. I guess it was a big one. So there was like a line of like 2 or 3 planes. They were smaller planes. And we were a bigger plane getting ready to take off. So we were like, all right, cool. We'll let this cargo plane come in and we'll get to do this and we'll be fine. Meanwhile, that other runway is just zoom, zoom, zoom. They're just taking off because they weren't stupid and had planes landing on the same one. They got them landing on the other one. So they got one taking off and landing, and then the stupid one that we were on. Turned out that there was a big storm coming in. We could see it. Like, when there's a big flat area, Charlotte's pretty flat, and, the airport's real flat. You could see a storm coming. It's kind of creepy. People that live in the Midwest probably see it all the time. Like, I watched it for the first time there. I was like, oh, this is weird. And you're seeing the thundering or seeing the lightning, and you could hear it thundering and stuff. And the pilot said, we got a storm coming our way. The cargo plane's running a little bit late. We're just laser break.
Shut it! This is my story.
So we're just waiting on that plane right now. May run into a little turbulence, maybe a little bit of a problem. But just hang tight. We'll keep you informed on everything going on. Well, guess what? Stupid cargo plane, which never came. We could have all just went zoom, 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 took it off and been done with it. No, couldn't do that. The cargo plane had to be rerouted and had already been rerouted before we got to the stupid runway. And so it just wasn't coming anyway. And then the rain hit and it was awful. And the whole airport was grounded. Nobody was taking off. Nobody was landing. We were on the tarmac and we just shut the engines off. And I said, well, great. And this is like 4 hours, like 45 minutes, maybe somewhere around there. Yeah, it takes a couple minutes to get out to the tarmac from after backing out. And so I was like, fine, I'm going to sleep. Now, I was very fortunate. I was sitting, in front of the plane. I'd already put in my food order and my drink order. And so they had that, which I thought I was going to get, 5 hours earlier. So the flight was shorter than the story. Get out of here. I'm not good at telling stories. I'm just good at complaining. That's really what this is. So, I laid back. I just took a nap and then woke up. And the guy beside me had nudged me. And they started serving drinks while we were on the runway. I'd never had that. And I gotta be honest, like, I was so much better after that. I wasn't complaining anymore. I was perfectly fine.
I need a drink after that story. Are you done now?
I think I'm done. Oh, and then And then we took off, and I had a headache until like an hour before landing.
Oh, good story, bro.
Thanks, man. Look, guys, it was 25. I really needed this. This was me just. I had to, and I did all that. By the way, oh yeah, and that doesn't like count. So you know the little Blackmagic touchscreen recorder I got. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You've seen it. So I was bringing that with me because Giant's US office doesn't have one, and it's the best way to record your game. So that's what me and it's not over yet. That's what me and Cop were gonna use. So like they're all just sitting there waiting on me. I lost my ride to the airport, or from the airport to the hotel. So I had to get a new one. I had to get an Uber instead of getting cop taxi, whatever farmer cop. Come and get me. Yeah, called you out in front of 200 people. 312. Numbers are going down. To be fair, it was late. I got to the hotel. It was like 12:30, 1 o'clock. It was like 4 a.m. Eastern time. By the time I got, by the way, I wake up at 5:30 Eastern time. I ain't going to bed yet. Well, I mean, I did go to bed. It was more like passed out, but I went to bed. Boy, let me tell you. And so we didn't get to record Friday night. We had to record Saturday morning. So I slept from like 3 until 6 their time. Yeah.
Tell me more, DJ. Tell me more.
I had to wake my tail up early, record in the hotel room before we left, and then we got to go to the event. And then we stayed up all night. And then I came home the next day. It sucked. All that just to show you guys Farming Simulator 25 early. It was awful. It was the worst trip ever. So it was a stressful trip. Get it. Ban them, tag them, get them out. Whatever. I don't know. Tag them. I don't know what that means. You're killing me, man. You're killing me. That's super funny, by the way. But you're killing me. You know what? With that, I'm done. I just wanted to share it. That the people think like, oh wow, what a glamorous life being a YouTuber. Get to fly out to Seattle. No, it sucked. The whole thing sucked. I didn't get any sleep. I got like 7 hours of sleep the whole stupid weekend. Ugh.
Oh boy. Yep, that's a story, all right. That's a story. Anyways,
it's my birthday, 30th of October. Happy birthday. All right.
Well, GoHam. I do have one good story for you, at least on that side.
Let me guess, you're just gonna play the outro, aren't you?
I am totally gonna do that.
He's just gonna watch. He's gonna do it right here. Watch this.
Thank you to G-Portal for sponsoring this episode of the Farm Sim Show podcast. They host premium game servers for Farming Simulator 22 that work on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. Clutch and I have both been working with them for the past few years, and they have hosted our public and private game servers ever since. If you're looking for an easy way to play multiplayer with your friends, this is the best way to do it. G-Portal servers allow you to have full control over your game, what mods are installed, permissions, and the game can be available 24/7. For Farm Sim 22, they've got a few different server options from 4 players all the way up to 16, and you can get an extra 25 gigabyte of mod space. Choose between 9 different server locations around the world to host your game, and you're ready to go. If you're interested in grabbing a game server for you and your friends, use the link for Clutch or myself at the top of the description and get 10% off all G-Portal game servers right now. Again, thank you to G-Portal for sponsoring this episode of the Farm Sim Show podcast.
I was just noticing like how pixelated like the ending animation is there. And I feel like it's almost the same like pixelation as your frames per second you were getting in that whole stream. Nah. See, like, today was just rough. It's so rough. I know, we had to listen to you complain on a 45-minute story in, like, what, 480p for the last half an hour. It was 45 minutes, and somehow it was weird. I don't know. I'm not good with time. Leave me alone. Well, I'm not good at telling stories. It was an awfully long story, bro. Oh, you want to know something else? Look at that. Look at that. No, I don't want to know anymore. No. Do I sound different? Like, I sound a little bit different, right? I mean, it's definitely not that different. Right. But it's not like the normal DJ bot sound. It's just a little bit different. You can't put your hands on it, but it's a little bit different, right? It kind of sounds like you're sitting on a stool upside down. Yeah. When used to, it sounded like I was sitting on a chair upside down. See what I'm saying? Like, it's not too much different. It's a little bit different. What happened was my coaxial reset on Wednesday. It didn't even work. It's a little one. I got a solution. Since you're already sitting on the upside down part of the stool, have you tried spinning?